Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast. Coming up on today's show, we're taking a look back at 2014's John Wick, the film that cemented Keanu Reeves as one of the greatest action stars of all time. From the film's intense fight sequences to its sleek visual style, we will explore how John Wick became an action classic and discuss its lasting impact on the genre. So grab a seat on the couch right now for our conversation about John Wick, one of modern cinema's most iconic action films, right now on the Couch Brotato Podcast.
I lost everything.
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
That nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
On October 24th.
Hey, John.
People keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. John Wick.
How good's your laundry? No one's that good.
There's October 24th.
Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Couch Brotato Podcast. Joining me as always is my co-host Adam. Adam, how's it going, man?
Going pretty well. Excited to do this movie. It's one of my favorite action flicks of all time.
Yeah, so am I. I was beginning to wonder if we were going to ever get it recorded. We got power outages due to the remnants of Hurricane Helene, which hit the southern part of the United States over this past weekend. And my thoughts are with all you guys and gals down there struggling with this right now. Then, of course, life gets in the way, a bit under the weather this weekend. So now we're recording this a couple hours before we put it out. But I think it's when we do some of our best work.
I agree. Work under pressure.
That's right. Today, we're going to talk about 2014's John Wick, which is getting ready to turn 10 years old at the end of the month. What was your introduction to this movie? The original John Wick, I should say.
Right. I don't think that I saw this in theaters. I remember. I think you saw it in theaters. I don't know if.
Actually, I didn't see it in theaters.
You didn't see it in theaters? Okay. I know somebody did, because this came out when we were working together. And I remember somebody did and mentioned it to me. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I need to watch that. I didn't get to watch it until it came out on DVD, but Blu-ray, really. I didn't buy DVDs back in 2014. It was all Blu-ray. But I ended up watching it and really, really liking it. It's just the pacing and the action is super, super great.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Lucas is the one that told me about this movie, because I didn't get to go see it in theaters either. I kind of just looked at it as like, okay, cool, Keanu Reeves action movie. I should have known better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I didn't. I just kind of like, okay, maybe I'll check that out sometime. And usually, I'm the type of person that checks Rotten Tomatoes to see, like, oh, well, it looks like this movie's getting some pretty good reviews. Maybe I'll check it out. Or if it's kind of on the lower end, I tend to skip it and until it comes to, well, now it'd be streaming. But Lucas was like just hammering me about seeing this movie. He goes, "Have you watched John Wick?" I said, "No, I haven't watched that." He goes, "You have to watch this." He goes, "If there's a movie with your name on it, it's John Wick." And I remember I was just sitting at home one night. As a matter of fact, I think he or somebody gave me a digital copy of it, and I just uploaded it to our Vudu account. And I think one night he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to watch it. And holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of like John Woo's Hong Kong, like the trifecta, like A Better Tomorrow, Hard Boiled, The Killer, those movies. I love those movies so much. And then when I seen this, it reminded me of those type of movies.
Yeah, it really does.
It has a lot of that involved in it too. And I mean, just Keanu Reeves just knows how to make an action movie.
Yeah, he does. That's one of the best action stars of all time.
Yeah, I would.
If not the best.
I would say Arnold had a more of a impact on pop culture.
Yeah.
But I think Keanu kind of has like the longevity, because I mean Arnold's not really making anything anymore, or at least anything worth note. And then here we are. Keanu Reeves is what, I think 60 now.
Yeah, the man doesn't age. He's just yeah.
He does not. And here he is. He's still making like arguably the best. Well, I'd say it is the best action franchise of the 21st century.
I don't know. I would have to think about that one. I would have to sit on that and just think about it for a minute. There's a lot of good action franchises.
Well, I think it would have to be something that was established, like a movie franchise that was established in the 21st century, like Mission Impossible.
Right.
Those came out in like the late 90s, so those ones don't really count. I think it would be between, I don't know, maybe the Fast and the Furious would definitely have to be in the equation. I guess you'd have to put the MCU in there. Although,
yeah, they're more superhero though. They don't strike me as like action. You know what I mean? They're not guns blazing, blow up, loose cannon cop kind of movies. They're their own genre.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the Bourne movies.
Yeah, the Bourne movies would be in there somewhere. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sure we're missing something that's amazing. But just listing off those, yeah, it's probably at least top 3, if not number 1, for sure.
What I find interesting about this movie in terms of Keanu's career is I think Keanu's career was pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, what was the last thing he did before this?
Well, in 2008, he had did the Day the Earth Stood Still, the remake of that.
Oh, yeah.
Which if I remember correctly, it was a fairly big, like not a huge hit, but a modest hit at the box office. But after that, I brought up his IMDb here. Oh no, the Day the Earth Stood Still was 2008. Let's see what it did box office wise. It did $233 million worldwide. So I'd say it's a fairly big hit. But from 2009 until John Wick, I have not heard of a single movie that he's done up to John Wick. And here's what he has. The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, Henry's Crime, Side by Side, Generation The Man of Tai Chi, and then I do remember 47 Ronin, but that one was a huge bomb.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
I don't even think I saw the Day the Earth Stood Still. I've only ever seen the old one.
I'm the same. I never watched it either.
So,
but I mean, Keanu was pretty much, he's pretty much in, like, I hate to use him as an example, but it's kind of the best example. Bruce Willis, late in his career territory, where he's just coming in, working 3 days, collecting a couple $1,000,000 and just going on his merry way. That's where I seen his career heading. And I think that might have been why I skipped this one originally, because I thought this is probably going to be just like kind of a cash grab.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those movies that they end up churning out, maybe another one on home video, but never thought anything of it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see your stance on that, but it's one of those few movies I think that is a new IP that kind of, blossoms and flourishes just from the first movie alone. Mm-hmm. It's so good. It's just so good.
And I completely forgot about it until probably about 20 minutes before we sat down here to record this. We actually did John Wick 2 before we did the first one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. Personal preference. For me, I still like the second one the best. But going back and watching this one, I really like how small this movie is compared to the subsequent films. Because I mean, like, they're world building, and like when you're building a franchise, you have to make them bigger than the last one. But I think what makes this movie really cool is just how like small and confined it really is.
Yeah, I really like it when movies like this, and another good example would probably be The Equalizer. Is they don't explain too much. There's not a lot of exposition. It's just they put you in this world. They give you something to relate to. I mean, in this movie, his wife dies, and gives him a dog to be a companion after she's gone. That's something that people relate to. Not necessarily the whole, criminal organization thing that's, this whole big underworld of secrecy and, being above the law. And I think that is something that draws people in to the world a little bit more. And so I don't think the second movie or in any of the subsequent films work without this one being as small as it was and as relatable as it was.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I also like how it feels like it's kind of realistic too, because with like a lot of movies, this is why I like Keanu as an action star so much, is like he's kind of more in the Bruce Willis mold, and he gets when he does something, he kind of feels it. Like, as an example, like Arnold would always be able to jump off of a helicopter just without skipping a beat, or, a lot of those 80s guys just seem to be damn near like invincible. Whereas he kind of, he gets punched, he gets hurt. But I think what I really like about this is the fact that, and it's really on display in that nightclub scene, that it seems to be when they shoot their guns, like, it's not like they have an endless supply of ammunition.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he runs out of ammo a lot in this movie too, and you see a couple of scenes where he reloads.
But yeah, I just like this movie was just such a revelation, and I mean, I'm glad that Keanu is still in the A-list. Well into his should be the latter part of his career.
Yeah.
But hey, you ready to knock out some categories?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, in case you're wondering what in the fuck John Wick is about, basically I summarize this as a former assassin seeks revenge for the murder of his dog given to him by his late wife.
Yeah. Yeah, it shares the plot of Doom 2, where the demons killed Doom Guy's bunny rabbit named Daisy.
Oh, well, that's a fun fact I did not know, because I don't remember too much of Doom. The tail of the tape, this movie is rated R, released on October the 24th, 2014, stars Keanu Reeves, Michael Nyqvist, Alfie Allen, Adrian Padalecki, Willem Dafoe, John Leguizamo, and Ian McShane. Directed by Chad Stahelski. I probably mispronounced his name. Rotten Tomatoes score of 86% from critics and 81% from audiences. The consensus is stylish, thrilling, and giddily kinetic. John Wick serves as a satisfying return to action for Keanu Reeves, and what looks like it could be the first of a franchise. Budget of $30 million, grossed $86 million worldwide. Did not win any awards, and what I found to be very disturbing is right now you cannot stream any of the John Wick movies anywhere.
Oh, that's kind of...
They were literally on Peacock a month ago.
Yeah.
And now they're not on there at all.
Lots of streaming services like to pull all their content and they're doing the Disney thing. They're locking it away in the vault for us, and we're sitting here wanting.
Come on, cock, get your stuff together.
Right.
Did you know? This is the portion of the show where we give you some interesting facts and tidbits about the movie. There have been 3 sequels, a prequel television show, and an upcoming spin-off film from this particular movie. Speaking of which, they just dropped the trailer for Ballerina, a John Wick. Is it called Ballerina, a John Wick story, or is it just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a John Wick story. Yeah.
They dropped that trailer last week. Thoughts?
I am all for stories that are set in the John Wick world. I think that there's a lot more story to be told other than John Wick, although I do like him the best as a character. I didn't necessarily enjoy anything John Wick related other than the movies. Like, it was okay. It was there. But I think that this looks promising for sure.
I thought the trailer was a little uneven. There's some parts that I really enjoyed, and there's some that I kind of didn't. So I don't know. I'll go see it because it's John Wick.
Yeah,
but I wasn't blown away by it because I literally watched it right before we came on.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because I remember I texted you about it, and then I was getting ready to watch it, I got preoccupied with something at work and couldn't watch it.
Yeah, it looks all right. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm always willing to give something a shot if I like the content.
Did you? So you never got to see the Continental, the prequel television show?
I got to see a little bit of it, and I wasn't too enamored with it, so I didn't see everything.
Now, see, that's on Peacock, but the movies aren't.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's still on Peacock, and the movies aren't. That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they want you to watch the Continental, but.
Well, I would be more inclined to watch the Continental if I could go and watch the John Wick movies.
Exactly. They should let us do that.
I found some of these casting what ifs a little interesting. Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage, Kurt Russell, Kevin Costner, Johnny Depp, and Jason Statham were all considered for the role of John Wick.
Huh. Okay. I think they did really well with Keanu. Couple of those would have been okay. Dolph Lundgren, really?
The only one of those that I could see pulling this off would be Statham. This feels like a Statham type of movie.
Yeah, but even then, it turns into a parody of itself with Statham. I don't see him as a very serious actor, and I don't think I could believe his grief from losing his wife or anything like that. I don't think he pulls that off very well.
No, see, I think that he could, because he's actually been in some really good stuff. Did you ever see Wrath of Man?
I don't think I have. No.
Check that out. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. It came out during the pandemic. I think it's 2020. I just watched that on a whim one night and was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think watching that, I think he can pull it off. I mean, because you see it, you think of the transporter and
yeah.
stuff like that. But no, some of the stuff he's been doing lately, like The Beekeeper, is actually really good too.
Okay. So
I think he could have pulled it off, but come on, Dolph Lundgren and Stallone, no. I guess apparently producer Derek Kolstad wanted Depp for the role, but he turned it down before they offered it to Keanu Reeves.
See, I don't think that Depp could do it either.
No, see, I really don't. I think he would have made it a little too out there.
Right.
And the reason why I guess they offered it to Keanu Reeves is because, as we said earlier, Keanu's career was kind of in a slump at the time. And when they decided on Keanu, they thought they had a better chance of getting him because he hadn't done anything of note.
Yeah, and I mean, you're banking on Speed and Matrix fame at that point too. So
yeah, because
kind of a win-win.
Yeah, what was the Matrix was 99, and what the sequels were in 2000 and 4?
Ooh, yeah, 4 I think was the last one.
Because they did them back to back. Because I remember they came out
Yeah.
within like 6 or 7 months. Yeah, they did, because Reloaded came out in May, and then I think Revolutions was in. Was it Revolutions or Resolute? What was the fucking third?
Revolutions, yeah.
Okay.
And then
the fourth one's Revelations, right?
The fourth one is Resurrection.
Okay. I don't give a shit. Those last 2 Matrix movies are not any good, so I don't fucking care.
Yeah, the Reloaded was decent, and then 3 was Dragon Ball Z. And the fourth one was unnecessary and kind of a letdown. I mean, it was very meta, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, needless to say, 2003, 2004, it had been quite a while since Keanu had been a part of an action franchise. So,
yeah.
Ian McShane replaced Jason Isaacs as Winston. You familiar with the works of Jason Isaacs? He was the villain in The Patriot, and he was in who's the I'm drawing a blank here. Who's the fucking asshole kid from the Harry Potter movies?
Oh, Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, he's Malfoy's dad. Yeah.
And he's also Captain Hook in one of the iterations of Peter Pan. He's one of the most ruthless ones, too, because he kills a fairy right on screen.
Well, he also killed Mel Gibson's kids in The Patriot. So, yeah, we pretty much know.
Yeah. He wants to kill Harry Potter. Like, he just wants to kill people on screen.
I think a lot of times the original is better than who they get to replace him. But in this case, Ian McShane is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
They got that one right.
They did.
You know how I think I've mentioned on the show that if I had won the lottery, I would pay Sam Elliott to leave me a voicemail message.
Yeah.
I think I would do the same thing for Ian McShane. I'd cut him a check if I couldn't get Sam Elliott.
That'd be cool. I mean, I wouldn't mind if Jason Isaacs wanted to put a message on my machine.
I don't know though, man. Like, Ian McShane could read the phone book and make it sound like Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's true.
Chad Strahelski is the credited director, and David Leitch is credited as the producer. However, they both co-directed this movie.
Okay.
But apparently, according to the Directors Guild of America guidelines, there can only be one credited director unless a certain circumstance is made. Like, they make an exception, which they didn't for this movie.
Right. There can only be one.
So, and I guess Strahelski didn't take a producer credit since he was listed as the director. So, Strahelski's also Keanu Reeves' stunt double in the Matrix movies. I guess they hit it off pretty well, and that's how he ended up becoming the director of this movie. It's based off his friendship with Keanu Reeves.
It's cool.
I got a little curious, and I wanted to see if Baba Yaga was actually meant the boogeyman.
It's like a witch.
Yeah, apparently it means a witch. It's grandmother Jadwiga is a witch-like character in Russian fairy tales. Baba Yaga, in other words, is an elderly woman with a long nose and iron teeth who kidnaps and threatens to eat young children.
Yeah, I think one of the Grimm's fairy tales is loosely based off of the legend of the Baba Yaga.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought the boogeyman was cooler, though. But...
Yeah. That's what confused me when I first watched this movie. Is like, because I knew that Baba Yaga was the witch, and I was like, huh.
Now, see, I never knew that. I didn't know that was like, I thought it was like seriously the boogeyman. I was like, fuck, that's such a cool nickname.
Yeah. It's still a cool nickname. Like, anybody could be like Baba Yaga. Like, it's still cool, like, calling him a witch, because like, it's like he's got the supernatural presence. This like scary presence in the room still.
I don't know, man. It kind of deflates it a little bit. Like, it's such a cool nickname, and like now it turns out he's like has like a long nosed witch. It's like,
turn me into a newt.
It's still cool, but it's just like,
yeah.
This movie was originally called Scorn, but during interviews, Keanu Reeves kept referring to this movie as John Wick. So then they just decided to go with it's like, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna call it John Wick. Because he was giving
cool
it like,
name.
yeah, I guess they thought like, oh, he's giving us all this free press talking about it, so they just decided to change the name to John Wick.
I like the name better than Scorn.
Yeah, you know, when I seen that, Scorn really reminds me of like a movie that Tug Speedman, the character that Ben Stiller plays in Tropic Thunder, would make.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Scorn 4, it would just... Well, he does make Scorcher, so I guess that's where I kind of get the correlation from, but...
Yeah. I feel like he would play like an angry character like he does in Mystery Men. Just like... He's just so angry that he has to like hit everything. I don't know. That's what the kind of like vibe I would get from that movie.
As of August of 2014, which is about 2 months before this movie comes out, the film had yet to secure a distribution deal.
Ooh.
A screening for studio executives apparently went very poorly, resulting in only one studio, which turned out to be Lionsgate, placing a bid. And I guess the agreement that they came to was they weren't going to make no upfront payment, and they were only going to release it into like select theaters, which usually when movies get that kind of deal, it's okay, this is going direct to DVD.
Yeah.
But I guess when they test screen it, they did, I forget what fan festival it was. I think it's Fantastic Fest. They did a couple of like fan screenings, and I guess it just went through the roof. And one of them even sold out, so they had to add a second showing. And then they decided to like, okay, well, maybe we'll take this thing wide.
Yeah, the pacing and the world building in this movie is on another level.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's another case of studio executives not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
That's all I had. That was pretty much the most interesting stuff that I came up with. What do you got?
Well, you came up with the fun facts, and now I have the boring. Well, I don't know if they're boring, but like the facts of let me ruin the movie for you. So I have a couple of goofs that I came across during my watchings of this movie. I watched it a couple times. I watched it again with my wife Jenna just because she forgot why John Wick murdered all those people, and I was like, well, they murder his dog at the beginning.
Well, isn't that like that's like a joke later on in like subsequent like other movies, like
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a meme now, but she had no idea. So watched it a couple of different times. Noticed all the clocks in this movie are wrong. John Wick wakes up every morning at 6:00, and it's dark outside, and then the next minute it's light outside. There's one point in the movie where he wakes up at 6. You can see him in bed. The dog's there with him. And then he gets up, and then all of a sudden it's 10:00, even though like 4 hours definitely did not pass. And then there's a point where he's watching a video of his wife on his phone, and his watch doesn't match the clock on his phone. Also, he switches phones throughout the movie. He uses an iPhone 5S all the way through the movie. But when he's watching that video of his wife, it's an iPhone 4S because, why not?
Yeah, why not?
There's a couple of scenes where like the continuity doesn't match, like when he is tied up to the chair and Vigo's interrogating him, and then he tells his henchmen to kill him. John Wick like flips the chair over so that he can get his hands in front of him, like his zip ties hands in front of him, and his shoe falls off. And then in the next scene, like the next cut, both of his shoes are on. And then it would have been a lot cooler if they had just left his shoe off. I don't know. Maybe he kills one of them with his sock. I don't know.
I think they saved that for 3.
Yeah. And then there's a couple of continuity errors with like the car chases. Like they shoot out the back windshield of his car in one scene, and then in the next scene it's there, and then the next scene after that it's gone again. Just a couple of errors here and there. Although from what I heard from your like fun facts, it was, what, $30 million was the budget. So, there's going to be some, but yeah, who cares? It's a fun ride. It's a good movie. It's a good popcorn flick.
Well, I think a lot of it just with the mistakes that they end up on film is just the fact that they just didn't have the money to like add additional like crew members. Because if you like pay attention to this, it's kind of like there's really not like a ton of close-ups. It's kind of shot more at a wider angle. And I think it's for that reason, like they just couldn't afford to add all these extra cameras to get all these different shots. They just like, fuck it, they went wide on everything. And that's probably, would imagine it's like they had to cut a few corners.
Yeah. And like I said before, the pacing and the world building is great in this movie. So you can look past all these mistakes. Like the action scenes are super, super well cut together, regardless of like any like background mistakes there are. And the world is just like all engrossed. It's such a good popcorn flick. And we've talked about how some movies are good films and some movies are good movies. And they're the fun popcorn movies that you can just suspend your disbelief and just be all in for the ride. And I think this is one of those movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's probably about as reliable as of a franchise right now as Mission Impossible is, really.
Yeah.
You can pretty much bank like, if there's a John Wick movie coming out, it's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
One more final fact that we didn't touch on. Sharon is the concierge at the hotel. And that is the same name as the oarmaster of the boat in the underworld in Greek mythology. He guides you across the river Styx for payment for safe passage. And that's exactly what he does in this movie. As long as you give him a gold coin, then you get safe passage across the river Styx in the underworld.
Oh, okay. That's Lance Reddick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I seen that movie so many times, and I just always know him as Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
It would be a lot easier for me if that was just the character that he played in every movie. It's just Lance Reddick. Like, okay, that's Lance Reddick. I know that.
He just plays himself.
Totally cool. That guy's such a fucking good actor. It's so sad that he's not with us anymore. Which actually, I think his last film on his last appearance on screen is going to be in Ballerina.
Oh, really?
I think he's in Ballerina.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
All right. Is that all the fun facts you got for us?
Yes, it is.
I did want to add one more. Michael Nyquist, in certain scenes where he wears a hat.
Yeah.
I guess apparently he got his head split open pretty significantly. And he had a huge cut on his head. So to hide the cut, he wore that hat.
Had no. Okay.
I also did not know this. I was because that actor was in. I think he was the villain. Yeah, he was the villain in Ghost Protocol.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's the villain in this, and he was also the original lead of in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies. He plays
it's been a while since
he plays the Daniel Craig character in the Swedish versions of those movies. Okay. Apparently he's also passed away. Did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Because I was looking like, man, like that guy is a pretty good actor. I don't understand why he isn't in anything, but no, apparently he has passed away.
Well, that would explain why he is not in anything.
That's very true. The Martin Scorsese This Is Cinema Award for the best scene of the movie. What was your choice?
So I'm gonna cheat a little bit because there is a lot to unpack in that, like, 15-ish minutes. But the entire scene where he's at the nightclub. I really, really like that scene. It's really well cut together. It has that point where he kind of gets angry with himself that the gun is out of bullets. And then he has that guy like in pain in front of him, and he has to reload. I really like that he does show pain, like you were mentioning earlier. He gets thrown off the balcony and like he's super hurt. He actually gets shot a couple of times, but he's wearing his Kevlar, so you can tell it only broke a couple of his ribs. And then a little bit later on, they show like his chest and his stomach area, and you can see like part of his rib is kind of like dented in a little bit. I just like the continuity there, and you just see how destructive he is, and why like everybody calls him Baba Yaga, because like he goes through those guys like they're butter.
Mm-hmm. That was also really my favorite scene. Was the red circle? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, the red circle.
First off, me being a big wrestling fan, get a cameo from Kevin Nash as the nightclub.
Oh yeah,
the bodyguard.
Yeah,
I think for my money, no one does nightclub action sequences better than the John Wick movies.
Yeah,
every single one of them's got like really cool like club sequence, like they have like the techno music playing or the EMD, whatever the fuck. I don't listen to it, so I don't know. But yeah, just the music playing, and like they've always got this really cool. It seems to be done in like purple and blue. The lighting always seems to be a purplish blue, pinks, stuff like that. But yeah, for my money, no one does nightclub action sequences better than the John Wick movies. I mean, good. I'm same feeling as you. Like you're getting firsthand knowledge as the viewer on why even this fucking mob boss is like scared to death of his son. Which, by the way, Alfie Allen, is there an actor that has a more punchable face than that guy?
No, not at all.
The minute he shows up on screen, it's like, dude, I want to fucking cold cock that dude.
I agree.
But even when he finds out that Yosef killed John Wick's dog and he didn't finish the job on John Wick, like even he knows like this is going to turn out badly for somebody. And you find out firsthand, like, okay, this is why they're scared to death of him. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the scenes where they just show him walking, like when Yosef is in the pool with all the other people. I don't know if it's a pool or a hot tub, but
with all the shouties.
Yeah. And he's just there, like lurking in the shadows, and he's like killing all of the bodyguards silently until that one just like makes noise. But even then, he kind of like has a gait kind of like Michael Myers in Halloween, where he's not really running after him, but he has that like, scary walk, and he's just like constantly going towards him. Mm-hmm. It's so cool.
Yeah. And then we also get like Kevin Nash kind of like lets him know how many dudes he's got. The code, they need to come out with a book, like the John Wick like code book or codec, where you can decipher all these like little hidden terms. Because he says, ask him how much weight he's lost, and he says about 60 pounds, and he's just letting him know like, hey, there's like 60 fucking dudes in here.
Yeah. I really like how he tells him to take the night off, and he's like, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that easily, the best scene in the movie is the red circle scene.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that sucks is Alfie Allen didn't get killed right away, but he gets his later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're in agreement, red circle scene?
Yes.
All right. the Andy Dufresne Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying Award for the best or most quotable line of the movie. I am going to present my nominee as he's not the boogeyman. He's the man you sent to kill the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. Oh man, that's a good line. I don't think I can come up with a better one. Yeah, no. Other than like, you stole his fucking car and you killed his fucking dog. No, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a really good one.
He just delivers it with like a hint, like he's supposed to be like the boss of bosses in. I'm guessing this is New York City. I've always assumed this is where it takes place, but even he says it. And he's got just a bit of fear in his voice when he says it. Yeah,
I really like the exchange between Aurelio and Vigo when he's like, "I heard you struck my son." Like after he visits the body shop, he's like, "Yes, I did. May I ask why?" And he's like, "Well, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog." And he's like, "Oh," and he just hangs up the phone.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, okay, valid reason." Damn. Yeah, you and I are batting 1,000 on these today.
Yeah.
The McLovin Award for the best supporting or scene-stealing performance. A lot to choose from. This has got a pretty loaded cast.
It does, and I have a particular person in mind that maybe you don't have, so I'll let you go first on this one.
I mentioned him earlier. I'm rolling with Ian McShane.
Okay, all right. I have a pick that I think is better.
I dare you to come up with a better nominee than Ian McShane, the guy that can read a pamphlet describing the benefits of erectile dysfunction medication and make it sound classy.
He probably could, but I'm gonna have to nominate Willem Dafoe as Marcus in this. I really like his character, and I really like the scenes that he's in, and every line that he says is just so poignant. Like when he's at John Wick's wife's funeral, and he's like, they're all mixed in with. He's like, "Is this how it's always going to be?" And he's like, life gives us days like this, and they're mixed in with all the other ones. Like, it's just so good. Like all of the scenes that he has with John, and then he's the reason why John Wick survived that whole warehouse scene. Maybe John Wick could have survived. I don't know, but I just
he would have. That would have sucked if he would have killed him.
Yeah.
But this movie's 45 minutes long. This sucks.
But I just like the fact that he was a sniper and helping John Wick, and then he stands up to Vigo at the end, and he's like, "No, I'm going to die my way," and he just fucking dies his way. Like he takes out two other guys with him, and he's still like, talking, like trying to get up with a couple of bullet wounds in his chest. Like, yeah, no, Willem Dafoe is fantastic.
I like Willem Dafoe. The nitpick I have with him though is during his death scene when he's getting shot, he's going for it a little bit too much. Like he's at an 11. He needs to be like, can you bring it to like a 9?
Okay. And well, to be fair, I did see him breathe when Keanu Reeves is sitting next to him for a second. Like he you can tell that he's breathing there. But that aside, really good performance in this movie.
Oh, I like his character a lot, but I don't know. I have to go with Winston now. Simply because like he kind of plays like it's the introduction of a more prominent character as we go into the movies.
Okay. All right. I'm looking at it through the lens of just John Wick 1, but we can go with that. I really like the fact that he had that baller line at the end when he's just like, "You're welcome at the man, I just had a brain fart. What's the name of the hotel?
The Continental.
The Continental. Thank you. You're welcome to the Continental has been revoked or whatever, and then just
when they kill Miss
shoots her.
Perkins, yeah, that was
Yeah.
very cold blooded.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. But well, we can go with it.
I tell you what, let's split down the middle. We'll go John Leguizamo as Aurelio. He's in it for like maybe 5 minutes. He's bringing it too.
And he punches him in the face like we want to.
All right. We'll give it to John Leguizamo.
Yeah. Okay. He deserves it after the atrocity of the Mario Brothers movie. So.
Yeah, he does. And did you know he shot his entire role in that in one day? 15 hours.
No, really?
He did that in one day.
I bet he got a nice paycheck for it too, just for 15 hours.
I'm sure he did. The IMDb Drug Dealer #2 award for the actor or actress you've seen in a movie, but you don't know their name. I've got the perfect candidate for this, but I want to hear who you got first.
Oh no, I scoured this movie twice. Like I said, I watched this movie with Jenna too. I could not find anyone for this. I have no idea who to nominate for this. So I'm very excited to hear who you have.
Oh, I have. Do you know the actor who plays his Tarasev's was this consigliere? Avi?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know that actor's name?
No.
That's Dean Winters. That's the fucking Mayhem from the Allstate commercials.
It is him. I was wondering what I knew him from. Yes. No. Okay. I was like, no, he can't be somebody that I know, because it's like it was there, but it wasn't. Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect.
Now, see, like I remember him from Oz. He was O'Reilly in Oz.
Yeah.
But everyone that, for like the last at least 6 or 7 years, he's the Mayhem in Allstate commercials.
Yeah, he is Mayhem.
And I actually. When I come up with this, I almost decided, and maybe we will, I don't know, maybe we change the name of this award to the Dean Winters Award for the actor actress you've seen in something, but you don't know who they are.
That's perfect. It is. And it's also kind of like he's Mayhem in the Allstate commercials, right? And then he gets hit by a car in this movie.
Yeah, he doesn't really serve much of a purpose in this outside of like just telling Tarasov to speak in English.
Yeah, just like English, please.
But yeah, that's who I nominated. Because I know Adrian Padlicki was in a Wonder Woman pilot. But, I mean, everyone's going to like, I'm sure that everyone that's seen this movie is like, that's the fucking Allstate guy.
Yeah, it's perfect. I was looking for her too, like to see what I saw her in, because that was my first pick, and I couldn't think of anything that I've seen her in. So
I do know Alfie Allen's in a Game of Thrones.
Okay,
but no, Mayhem
wins the day.
Dean Winters.
I agree.
Such an iconic commercial actor that I'm seriously thinking about changing the name of this award to the Dean Winters Award for the actor actress you've seen in something, but you don't know who they are.
Right.
And I think that's going to happen. I think starting next week, I think that's what we're going to call this. The Indiana Jones It Belongs in a Museum Award for the prop you would want for your personal collection. I would want one of the gold coins.
You know, I was about to say the same thing. Gold coin.
Yeah, I mean, the gold coin, or I mean, maybe one of John Wick's guns, but probably the coin. Because you can, like, the coin, that could be from any of the John Wick movies, and you could display it in your home like, oh, it's the John Wick gold coin.
Or, I don't know if the dog is still living. Probably not. It's been a while, but the
carcass of the dog.
I want a taxidermied dog from John Wick. This is the dog that started it all.
Yeah. He's like the Helen of Troy in the John Wick universe. He's the one that set the. It's kind of like Die Hard, it's a Christmas movie because the Christmas party sets the whole events in motion. It's the same thing with the dog.
It's the MacGuffin, right? It's the thing that makes the plot move.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, his car, either one of the cars obviously would definitely be, but I mean, I can't put that in my living room either.
No, and the cars could be from anything.
I could,
the
but
car, right? It would probably take up a lot of space. Not enough room for a couch after that.
Yeah, I just have to sit on the roof. You'll be fine.
But I don't think the cars are as iconic as the gold coin, though. I think the gold coin would be pretty perfect.
Yeah, gold coin it is. They look super cool.
Yeah.
The John Williams Award for the best use of music. I'm gonna go. I don't know what that song is, but it's the song they play in the Red Circle club scene. Just because like it just blends perfectly with the action.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. There was that one that plays when he's like destroying the floor of his basement to get the gold coins and the guns. I forget what the name of the song is, but that's pretty good.
Well, you get Marilyn Manson's Killing Strangers twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But I think once was enough. You don't have to go back and do it again. So I don't know what that name of that song is. I'm going to look it up while we're talking.
But I think that no, you're right. The Red Circle scene does have the best integration of music because it is that EDM like pulsing music, but it kind of feels like a heartbeat too, because it's that like, low pulse the entire time. And it just blends really well with the action for sure. I wonder.
Well, apparently, according to Google, that song is called The Red Circle by Lee Castlevania.
Okay.
So
yeah, there's a bunch of different tracks in this. Oh yeah, they play Ode to Joy when they go into the church, which isn't a Russian Orthodox church, by the way. Like they make it a Russian Orthodox church, but when he walks in, there's like benches everywhere, and it's definitely a Catholic church. So that it's a front for some drug money.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Catholic Church's not in anything illegal at all.
Yeah, but see, it's not just a Catholic church; it's a Russian Orthodox church that's masquerading. Like it's a Catholic church that's masquerading as a Russian Orthodox church. They don't even know what kind of church they want to be.
I don't just put somebody in there. We don't give a shit.
We're just going to use this to launder money. It's fine.
All right. Yeah, it's just like whatever.
There's a lot of different ones.
The Hall of Fame Award for a Career Achievement in Film. Keanu Reeves.
I think that his career achievement came before this, but this is a very good comeback movie for him.
Yeah, I would say it would be The Matrix.
Agreed.
I mean, that movie's a game-changing film.
Speed put him on the path, and then Matrix was like the peak. Yeah.
Yeah, but if we were going like 2000s Keanu Reeves, definitely this.
Yeah, for sure.
21st century action franchises. I think we already discussed it. Yeah, I think so.
We did.
I mean, it's got to be this or the Fast and Furious, but I would give it to John Wick just simply based on the fact that the films are reliable. Like they're going to be good. Fast and Furious franchise, as much as I love them, they are kind of hit and miss.
And I feel like they're a little bit more, they rely more on the cheese than John Wick does. John Wick follows like the pattern of the old school like action flick, and
Well, I
less
think
on
the
the
problem
cheese.
with the Fast and Furious franchise is the fact that they've made so many of them, and each time they've gotten more and more, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, ludicrous.
Yeah.
Not literally. I mean, he's in the film franchise, but just like, like it's outlandish, and then they have to top the last one, and then it just becomes more and more to where, like, okay, how can we top the last one? And it's like, okay, I get it, gang. And it seems like that's really made the last couple films in that franchise suffer. Whereas John Wick has just done a really good job of, like, kind of building the world. Now, I think that they don't need to make really anymore. Unless you want to go back and make movies about him prior to the events of the first one, but we don't.
We'll get we'll get a Vader hallway scene of John Wick just mowing down guys.
Maybe we'll get that ballerina.
Yeah.
Like this, he's got a fucking lightsaber and everything. Like, whoa, shit, we're combining two franchises now. All right. Movie Assassins.
Yeah, I think so. I think this one does a really good job of building the legend of John Wick, like how scary he is. Like, I think you would put him up, like, with Movie Assassins, we have, like, Jason Bourne and man, I can't think of Denzel's name.
And The Equalizer.
Yeah.
Damn it. I forgot to. I was actually going to watch The Equalizer. I still haven't seen all The Equalizer 3 yet. But when I asked this question, the first one that come to mind for me was The Bride from Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Okay.
I would say not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I still say, like, for me, Movie Assassins, I think it starts with Uma Thurman and Kill Bill.
Okay. I might have a different number one, but no, you're right. I don't think it's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
But it gets in. It gets in, like, maybe it's second or third try.
Right, yeah.
That's going to bug the shit out of me what his character's name is. And Robert McCall.
Robert McCall, thank you. Thank you. Oh, man, I couldn't think of it.
Is he an assassin in that, or is he just like was he like a former CIA agent? Because I think there's a difference between the two.
He did not work for the CIA. He was the guy that you called to kill the boogeyman in those two. He's the guy that the CIA called to clean up the mess.
Might be an interesting Hall of Fame episode.
Yeah. I like that idea. I really do. I think I want to go on a binge of assassin movies now.
Saddest pet death.
Ooh. Can we count TV shows for this too? Because, man, it really bums me out when Philip J. Fry's dog dies in Futurama.
You know what? For this particular episode, I will allow it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you've got Old Yeller.
Yeah, Old Yeller is the go-to, but I think that this is a little bit more sad because you see it.
I'll tell you one that gets me is, like, I'm not a huge fan of the movie, but when Will Smith's dog in I Am Legend.
Oh, yeah. No, that's sad.
Oh, man. Like, for that reason is why I don't like the movie, because I'm like, I remember, like, we seen that in the movie theater, and, like, after that happened, I looked over. I think I looked over at Lucas, and, like, they had to kill the dog.
What is it about movies? Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a tangent here, but I want to ask your opinion. What is it about movies where we care more about the animals than the people in the scene?
Right.
Like, in Godzilla, there's that scene where he comes up out of the water. I think it's like in Hawaii or Los Angeles or something, like over on the West Coast. And there's like a kind of like a mini tsunami, and the wave like hits the city, and then all of these people are running. There's even like a dad with a girl, like a little girl, and that kind of gets to me too, because it's like, okay, I'm a dad and I understand that, but like you see the dog running on top of the cars, and you're like, that dog better fucking make it, and of course it does. Like, what is it about movies that like we want to see the animals survive more than the people?
Well, I think it's, for one thing, it's like for me anyways, it's like your pet's your best friend, you know.
Yeah.
And I in the case of I Am Legend, it's like you take the trip with Will Smith, and I forget the dog's name off the top of my head, but it's like it's all he has, and then like it's taken away from him by these.
Yeah.
But it's just a cool fucking dog. I mean, I'm just not gonna lie. Like, I'm allergic to like longer haired dogs, so I can't own a German Shepherd. But like, still, like that dog.
Yeah.
Like, I want that dog. I would suck it up.
That dog. Does Wilson count on Castaway?
No, Wilson's not an actual like a pet. He's an inanimate object. That's all Tom Hanks has on that island.
But he also floats away, so technically that's the death there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Old Yeller's got to be like number one.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Old Yeller's number one, and the only reason being is like we don't see it, like it's off screen. So yeah, it's sad, but I feel like John Wick's dog's death is a little bit more sad. I think it makes
you hate Yosef even more.
Yeah. I think even if it's not number one, it makes the Hall of Fame for sure.
I'm looking up saddest pet deaths in movies right now.
Saddest pet deaths in movie. There's probably a few. So one, I guess it doesn't really count as a pet, but like the brachiosaur in the second Jurassic World. Apparently, the director made a point to point out that was the brachiosaur that we see in Jurassic Park for the very first time. And of course, like it gets hit by a freaking volcano.
Oh, the dog in I Am Legend is Sam.
Sam, okay, yeah.
Marley and Me is on this list too.
Mm-hmm.
Arfax in the Neverending Story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is he a pet though?
I mean, he's that dude's horse.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's Bambi's mom. They have Mufasa on here, which it's a cartoon. It's not the same thing.
Those are animals too. They're not like pets. They're not like it's not the pet dying per se. So,
well, long and short of it, it's John Wick's poor dog. Did the dog get a name?
Yeah, Daisy.
Okay,
and that's why I mentioned Doom earlier, because that was Doom Guy's bunny's name was Daisy. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Not I guess not a Hall of Fame for your pet deaths, but it's in the conversation because it sets off this awesome hour and a half thrill ride of bringing the boogeyman out of retirement.
No, I am all for an Assassin Hall of Fame episode coming out soon, but I really don't want to do a pet death Hall of Fame.
No, I'm not doing that at all. I'm not fucking revisiting that at all. Like just Sam, the thought of him having to put his dog down because it got bit, it's fucking breaking my heart as I say it.
I don't want to watch all of those movies in preparation for that.
It's literally the only thing he has left. And then those fucking heartless fucking creatures take it from him.
Yeah.
Oh man, all right. I'm getting off this topic now. I'm starting to get a little misty eyed as we speak. The Final category, the Finding Forrester You're the Man Now Dog Award for the biggest life lesson taken from John Wick. I think it's pretty easy. I just don't fuck with John Wick.
Yeah, don't take his car. Don't kill his dog. Don't piss him off.
Yeah, just
leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him be. He left that life for a reason. He's in mourning, right. And then you just had to. That's just another reason why I don't like fucking Alfie Allen's character in this movie. Anytime I see that dude in anything, it's like I just want to fucking flip him in the dick.
Yeah. I think his last words were, "It's just a fucking," and then he was going to say dog, but he dies before that, and he deserves to die before that. But pitiful last words.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yep.
You know, like I was thinking about it. I haven't seen 3 in a while, and it kind of, that whole thing goes full circle when Halle Berry's dog dies. Third one. And he basically tells her, he goes, I know how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. Does he still, I don't remember, does he still have his pit bull or whatever it is at the
I think so.
Climax franchise? Okay. Because
3's the only one I've seen once. I've seen the other ones multiple times. I've only seen 3 once, and I think it's probably because it's my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still good, but I don't know. Like, I just find myself, that's the one I don't revisit as much.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the one I've seen the least as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, gang, that's going to wrap up John Wick for this week. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts. That way you can get each and every episode that comes out. Hopefully we don't have any more bad storms coming to where it delays the release of an episode, but we do drop episodes each and every week. So hit that subscribe button. And if you listen to us on Apple, please take just a brief moment of your time to leave us a short review. Let us know how we're doing here on the show. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads. All those links are in the show description below. So until next week, we will talk to you guys and gals later.